Social media has taught me a great deal. Let me tell you, a great deal in the social dynamics of the digital age we're living in, which is the person who was left out growing up, the person who was maybe picked on or bullied, or the person who just didn't seem to think they fit in or didn't get the girl or didn't get the recognition they thought they deserve, or if they were a mean person they could be extra mean, or if they were not seen, they can overindulge in social media to a point where I find it to be unhealthy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe in going to you know like, if there's a special retreat you want to go to and learn something, cool, fine. If there's someone online you find influential and you like watching their videos, great. That's the whole purpose of the whole thing. Watch what you want to watch, do what you want to do, be who you want to be. The problem is when you get to a point where basically you think you're something that you're not. You know, I'm not claiming that I'm anything special, because I'm not. I'm just a regular fucking dude. But when you've known somebody personally, let's just say from high school, hypothetically, and you see certain aspects of them that is just, it's beyond an act. It's borderline lying to the public, and I don't have the heart to, call anybody out. I'm not that type of person. You do you, I do me, that's it. I'm pretty hands off when it comes to 99.9% of this shit. I don't mind the nonsense that goes on behind the scenes with certain people. What blows my mind is, say you grew up with people that you were close friends with, or you thought you were, and because of resources that you might have that they think you don't, or money you have that they think you don't, you're able to access certain, chat rooms, certain things, and you're able to see certain stuff. It really it makes you think, to back in the day when you spend time with these people, or maybe spoke to these people online or whatever, you know. And it's like, why in the world would you even associate yourself with me if you're willing to say certain things when I'm not around, thinking I'm not going to find out about it, and then hide when I simply want to have a conversation? It's a very odd dynamic. And you're going to run into this. This is something that, unfortunately, the digital age with social media, how we live our lives here, is much more extreme than the real world. I've always taken the approach that I need to be less extreme when it comes to the digital world. I need to be more outgoing. I need to be more thoughtful and careful with the words I say. And I need to try and, be a fairly decent person. I'm going to get shit wrong and then call myself out when I get something wrong, or I feel I have, or someone brings it to my attention. And I've learned a lot throughout the process, but it blows me away that people who may have felt unimportant growing up, or they were bored growing up, that this new digital world is like an access point to either get back at others that you had no idea you had a problem with to begin with, and that would just snap in front of you if they were standing in front of you. they, they wouldn't have a chance. I mean, it's just like that shit don't change, at least with me. You know, I respect the people that I grew up with, the ones that are real, and the ones that I found out that aren't. If I see him again, it's just going to be a polite conversation, but I already know it's just going to be lies on top of lies. And the problem is that I have the information, and I don't even have to tell him that. And that's the sad part, is that I could just be right in front of him and know something's off. So if you come across certain situations where later on when you're doing this kind of stuff, that you start having wacky things happen with people that you thought you were cool with, and that you've always been pretty genuine with and outgoing with and stuck up for in the past, and now you're seeing a completely different situation going on because you have access to certain things, just know that people respond differently through a screen. In person, that is not who you're dealing with. Even me, you're not dealing with this person in real person. I am not as careful with my words. I'm not as, I'm not aggressive. I'm not like rude in any way, shape, or form, although I've been called rude before, even though I think that there's a lot of sensitive people out there nowadays. But I do try to be as polite as possible in my real day-to-day life. I guess I just went a different direction with it, where I was more careful with a screen, and they were more like, this is an opportunity for me to like really, express myself, and all the balled up craziness that I've had going on, I just want to throw it at the screen. And I guess that's okay, but when you're starting to like use people you used to know in order to get a step up and get a little clout, that shit fades and you're still the same person. Remember that. You are still the same person, whether or not you are on screen or off screen, you are still the same person. And people will run into each other again. Keep that thought in mind.